What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about why most people are just one focused season away from a completely different life. 6 months, guys. That's all it takes. I'm not talking about some overnight success fantasy. I'm talking about what happens when you quote unquote lock in, right? When you cut the distractions, when you cut out the BS, when you stop starting over and you just commit. I've been there, right? I've been stuck in the cycle before, overwhelmed, anxious, inconsistent, not sure what I should do. But when I decided to give myself 6 months of tunnel vision, things started shifting fast. And this is currently something I'm going through right now. In this video, I'm going to break down why 6 months of pure focus can completely change your life, how I'm doing this right now, and how you can too, even if you're starting from zero. So, little backstory here. I'm currently going through this right now where there have been some things that I've been wanting to do, some goals I've been wanting to achieve. Most of them are fitness and career related. And I've currently implemented some strategies and some ways that I'm focusing on improving those things. First one being physical fitness. I'm currently implementing a strategy where I'm going on a cut. I don't even really like using the word cut because I'm just generally being more healthy, but I'm focusing on getting anywhere from 10 to 15K steps per day. So I'm doing more walking, more movement along with the weight training I was already doing. And as well, I'm currently looking and expanding on ways that I can use my current skill sets outside of just my sales job, whether that's doing outbound and freelancing stuff for businesses, whether that's selling on an offer. And I'm currently in the process of doing these things currently. And I've just noticed that when I commit to do this stuff, like when I commit to expanding on my skill sets, when I commit to being healthier, moving more, training harder, and all these things, not only have I been happier, but like I've actually been less overwhelmed and I'm not as anxious. And the reason being is because like my mind either consciously or subconsciously knows that I'm making steps in the right direction. And like when you actually do what you're supposed to do every day, it makes it easier to focus and you don't worry about it as much. And let's start with the truth here, guys. Like, you don't need more time. You really don't. You just need more focus. Like, most people overestimate what they can do in a week and they underestimate what they can do in 6 months. Now, is everyone going to, necessarily just be able to quote unquote get to 10K per month or like, make this certain amount of money or be in this certain shape or achieve this XYZ goal? Not necessarily, but the old saying, if you shoot for the moon, you're going to land on the stars. If you shoot for the stars, you're going to land on the moon. It's the same thing, right? Like, you have to aim high and stay consistent and focused, and you will get at least to your goal, if not very close. And it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. If you want to lose weight, it's about making sure you're tracking your calories, at least having a baseline of where you're at. It's about tracking, your movement, your steps, how many times you're training, what exercises you're doing, what muscle groups you're hitting. If you want to start a business, you got to track, your profit and loss. How many people are you messaging today? How many businesses are you reaching out to? What products are you trying to build? What services are you trying to sell? Like, you have to track everything meticulously and be purposeful with what you're doing. And what focus actually looks like is really just cutting out distractions, right? Cutting out the doom scrolling, cutting out the bitch content, aimless socializing, and choosing one or two clear goals, right? So I told you right now, my goals are to, right now I'm aiming to cut like 20, 25 pounds, but I'm really not so concerned with the weight. I'm more concerned with just leaning out a little bit. And still doing my strength training, but I've just implemented other things like caloric tracking and more movement and cardio into my routine on top of the strength training. And then as well, my other goal is I have certain monetary goals I'm trying to hit in my head in terms of income. So I'm doing stuff outside of just my job to kind of make that happen. And I have another video about, why you shouldn't leave your 9 to 5 and how to build a side hustle around the 9 to 5. So we can link that description here if you want to check that out as well. But regardless, you need to choose one or two clear goals and focus on those goals for minimum 6 months, right? Don't always be jumping to thing and what's the newest thing on social media. And you really have to have a system and a daily minimum, not rely on motivation. So let's talk about an example here. Let's say you started a sales job and your goal is to, let's say you want to set 10 meetings a month, in your job, right? For your sales job. So what I would do if I was in that scenario is I would reverse engineer the numbers, right? So let's say every 100 cold calls you make, 15 people answer. 5 of those are wrong numbers, or maybe 3 of those are wrong numbers, and then the other 12 are the right people. And of those 12, you set 2 of them. You set 2 meetings, right? So that would tell you that every 100 cold calls you make, you're going to set 2 meetings. Okay, so by just pure math, assuming nothing else changes, you would just multiply that by 5 to get 10 meetings a month, which would be 500 cold calls would get you 10 meetings, right? Obviously, that's really basic math and a basic example, but you can apply that same philosophy to pretty much any goals you have, right? So let's say, for instance, you wanted to, start a software, product, or you wanted to, make a certain t-shirt business, or you want to do something, like just reverse engineer the inputs you need to do to figure out what like the output is you want, right? Or if you wanted to lose 25 pounds or 30 pounds or 20 pounds, like let's just say for example reasons here, you wanted to lose 20 pounds. Well, a golden rule that, a lot of personal trainers will tell you is you should aim to lose about 2 pounds a week. That's probably like the 2 to 3 is probably the most you should lose in a healthy way in a week, because obviously you could lose some with water weight too. But you reverse engineer it. It might take you 10 weeks, right? Figure out what your basal metabolic rate is. General rule of thumb is taking your weight, multiplying it by 10, although that's not going to necessarily give you the exact thing, and that does fluctuate. But what I would do is track your calories for about 2 weeks, see where you're at in terms of maintenance, see what weight you're maintaining with that caloric intake. Then go into a deficit of about 300 calories and make sure you get your steps in, and you will gradually lean out, right? And track your progress along that. So you don't need more time. You just need to stay consistent and focused for a 6-month period. You're going to have people coming at you about, let's eat here, let's go out for beers, let's eat this, eat that. And there's nothing wrong with, having fun, quote unquote, here and there, but you have to make sure that you are focused and you are, on the right path. There's a online creator that's been around for a while called Iman Godzi. A lot of people probably heard of him, but he has something called monk mode, where like 6 months out of the year, he'll like go into a mode where he doesn't drink at all, doesn't do anything, doesn't go out. He's strictly focused on business. And, I think it's good for people to go through a season of that. You can alter what your quote unquote monk mode is to a certain way, whatever you want. But I think whatever goal you want to reach, you should reverse engineer how to get there and then plan that out over a 6-month time frame. I think a lot of the anxiety and the overwhelming feeling that you guys probably have is just from stressing about like wanting it too fast. And I'm guilty of this myself. I'll be laying there at night trying to go to bed, and I'm thinking about like, I want to make more money, or I want to be in better shape, or like I want this part of my life to improve. But that stuff doesn't happen overnight, guys, and you have to be okay with that, right? I think it's harder now because not only is the younger generation affected by social media, even the older generation, like even my parents, bro, like they'll go on Facebook and like watch these like, Facebook videos, and like they'll be on there for a while. And like anyone from age like 15 to even like 60, like they're all affected by the Facebook and TikTok brain rot. I would say the younger generation's affected more, but it's affecting everyone. And what I've seen it do to pretty much every human alive is just this shortened attention span, right? So like everyone wants everything now, and you just need to extend your horizon for your goals, and you need to stay consistent over, like I said, at least a 6-month time frame. And like I said, like a personal story for myself, and this is currently what's going on right now, is instead of like me trying to get this sales goal right then and there, or get this promotion right then and there, what I've actually done is I've extended my time horizon out 6 months, and I've said, okay, I want to, get this promotion, or I want to make this amount of money from my side hustle, which I'm currently building out, or I want to lose this much weight. I'm going to go through how am I actually going to get there from a week to week basis, right? Whether that's posting content, whether that's getting more serious about business, whether that's making X amount of cold calls per day, whether that's X amount of LinkedIn messages per day, emails, whether that's like stop going out with friends to bars and stuff as much, whether that's building better habits every day. I'm currently going through this phase of my life where, I'm committed to doing this 6 months of focus because like the time's going to pass either way. So I might as well stay focused on what I want to achieve. And like, I feel like in our world, there's so many forces pulling you in so many directions, like of ways to get distracted. But I feel like most people just quit too soon, right? They expect fireworks to go off after a week or two when, this is a saying that you guys have heard before, but Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not building Rome here, but like if you're building any type of business or just better habits in your life, like that stuff's not going to change in a day, right? Why do you think people like who are addicted to vaping or nicotine or drinking or anything like that, like they're not just able to necessarily quit right away? It's a process, right? It's the same thing with building focus and good habits for yourself. Right? You're not tracking your progress, you're not seeing the growth, and you don't believe in yourselves long enough to see the compounding effect. Think of it as like planting a seed. I like you guys know before, I used to do a lot of landscaping and lawn care, so I planted a lot of trees, a lot of like shrubs. When you plant a seed, the first few weeks, like it looks like nothing's happening, right? Like either nothing's even really like coming out of the ground or like, you're going to see like barely anything there. But beneath the surface, things are shifting, right? The roots are growing, the foundation is forming. And if you just keep watering it, right? You keep watering it with the discipline, the patience, the daily habits, the movement, the exercise, the business acumen, the reading, the positive habits. If you water it with those positive habits, one day you'll look up and realize that tiny seed turned into a life you didn't think was possible. And I'm not trying to sell some like guru BS here. Like this is just the truth. I'm not saying that you're going to change completely overnight, but if you stay consistent on a long enough time frame and you focus on the daily habits to get there, you're going to realize that you were capable of a lot more than you thought. Right? So, to wrap this up, guys, here's the truth. 6 months of your life is going to pass either way. When this video gets posted, it'll probably be like late May, early June. So 6 months from now, it'll be November or December. And you're going to be going, seeing your family around Thanksgiving, probably sitting around the table, eating Thanksgiving turkey. And I guess a question I want to ask you guys is, do you want to be sitting at that table, still stuck in the same effing place that you're in now, still doing the same freaking shit you're doing now, or do you want to be closer to your goals? Like I said myself, when I'm sitting there eating turkey with my family, I want to be leaner. I want to have the 20 pounds down. I want to be making more money than I'm making now. I want my relationship with my girlfriend to be better, even better than it is now. I want my relationship with my friends to be better as it is now. I want my relationship with God and faith to be better than it is now. Like I want to keep improving. And like I said, guys, I'm in that season right now, and I want to build a community of people that I can share that with, because I think it's good to be able to look back and talk about these things. And, guys, like I'm betting on myself, and I want to challenge you to do the same. I want you guys to bet on yourself. I want you guys to be focused, you guys to be consistent, because what would your life look like if you focused, like really focused for the next 6 months? What would happen if you stopped starting over and you just kept going? You just kept staying consistent, right? Drop a comment, guys. Let me know what you're going to focus on. Let me know if there's anything you guys are trying to accomplish right now. And, let's build something here at Level Up Strategy. And if this hit home, like, comment, and consider subscribing. And I've got more coming for you. Thanks, guys.